Ah, the joys of having a flip phone.
Get ready.
Welcome.
Get ready for the start.
Back. Isn't it? Welcome.
Okay, I'll look at that.
We're looking at the view from the back of the grid. Hopefully we're going to see the start. The lights are out and away we go, go, go. Can't see what's going on to turn one. Here we go. Looks like Locho's got a good start. Rico's managed to hold on to second.
Norton!
Showing Rico down in third now. Tom. Tom to Norton.
And a little wibble wobble. Oh! Alex goes for the dive. And everyone just...
Alex trying to cut through the field.
Yeah.
Immediately Will and English looks like he's dropping down, probably taking it a little bit easy.
3-second penalty.
Let's jump on board. Yeah, I think he probably got himself a little bit out of shape.
Oh, there's a pushing Alex to the wall a bit there.
Oh, no one's round. Oh, look out, there's a big collision. Big collision. Everyone's crashed into the back. Is Alex out? Alex is gone.
Yeah, Alex is gone. Oh, I got that all.
Oh.
I got all of it.
Oh, that was awful. No.
To make sure, can you all hear me now? Yes, you can all hear me. Well, in that case,
the joys of having a flip phone.
Get ready.
Welcome, one and all,
for the start.
to the first race of season 4.
Okay, I'll look at
It's
that.
good to be back, isn't it?
We're looking at the
I got to
view
say,
from the back of the grid. Hopefully we're going to see the start. The
definitely
lights are out and away we go, go,
hyped
go.
up seasons, and if
Can't
that
see what's going on
intro,
to turn one.
despite
Here we
its
go.
box-
Looks like
boxed up
Locho's got a good start. Rico's
execution
managed to hold
was
on to
not
second.
a statement of how we intend to expand there.
Norton!
Showing Rico down in third now. Tom.
To the fourth
Tom
season
to
of
Norton.
Hyper Tier Racing.
And a
We
little
got
wibble wobble.
started
Oh!
last
Alex goes for the
time
dive.
out.
And everyone just...
Alex trying to cut through the field.
But, I
Immediately
think
Will
we're-
and English looks like he's dropping down, probably taking it a little bit easy.
3-second
just
penalty.
have to bear
Jump on
with
board.
you whilst, do get some.
Yeah, I think he.
Is this fixing the problem? Aha! I think we found the problem. Is this working, fellas? Or is this like way too loud? Now you can hear me. Great. Apologies in advance for technical difficulties. Just trying to, get used to a brand new set of software behind the scenes. But welcome to Hyper Tier Racing. We've gone through the intro. I don't want to bother you explaining it all again. But indeed, welcome to what will promise to be one of the most hyper seasons ever. And if that intro, the video we've compiled, has not made you like, then I don't know.
We're looking at the
massive shout out
view
to
from the back of the
all
grid. Hopefully
of
we're going
our
to see the
lead
start. The
staff
lights
members
are out
here
and away we go, go,
for
go.
creating this
Can't see what's going on to
frankly
turn one.
amazing
Here we go.
intro. So
Looks
massive,
like
Locho's
Locho's got a good
to
start. Rico's managed to hold on to second.
But yes, my name is of course Fadoodle. I can see all of you loud and clear.
Showing
We've
Rico
got
down in third
incredible
now,
19 people.
And a little wibble
Oh
wobble.
my goodness me, that is just incredible work. Now, we've had a few changes.
Alex trying to cut through the field.
And whilst
Immediately Will and English looks like he's dropping down, probably taking it a little bit easy.
Thing called graphics.
3-second penalty.
So we're going to
Jump on
visually
board.
show you.
Yeah, I
So
think
I'll
he
be
probably
back
got himself a
in
little bit
just
out of shape.
And there are your 10 team principles for the
the
upcoming
joys of having a
season
good
here
Get ready.
at Hyper Tier Racing.
Get
We've had a
ready for the
few
start.
changes in the off-season. 3 have sadly departed, mostly
Okay, I'll look
remain
at the back.
doing background roles.
We're
But
looking
yes,
at the
just
view
to
from
run
the
you
back
through
of the
some
grid.
of the
Hopefully we're gonna see
biggest
the start of the
changes,
lights are out
our
and away we go,
two-time
go,
Tier
go.
1 champion
Can't see what's going on to turn
Matthew
one.
has
Here we go.
decided
Looks
to
like
trade
Veloce's got a
Alfa
good start.
Romeo away
Rico's managed to hold
for
on to second.
McLaren, and back when they were, dare I say,
No,
race
So
winners.
Rico down in third now. Tom.
Without calling
So
upon
Tom-
too many shots here.
And a little wibble wobble.
Yes,
Oh,
he has gone
dive.
for that team.
And
We've also got Deza picking the
Alex trying to cut through the
Ferrari
field.
there. I'm the only one
Immediately
who
Will in
actually
English.
stayed on.
English
Same
Sophie's
team,
dropping
because you
down,
know what?
probably taking it a
Me and
little
my
bit
boys,
easy.
we got one. We had some unfinished
3-second
business
penalty.
to do.
Jump on board.
Who else was
So-
another big change? The
Yeah, I think
three
he probably
new
got himself
ones
a little bit out of shape.
have arrived. We've got
God,
two
that's a pushing
British
Alex at the wall.
Austro brothers.
Oh,
joining
round!
the
Oh, look out,
principal
Desert!
match.
Oh,
Will
no, big collision!
and Tom,
Big collision! Everyone's
representing
crashed into the
Aston
back. Is
Martin
Alex
and
out?
Alfa
Alex is
Romeo,
gone!
Alex
who I'm
is gone.
sure
Oh, I got
are
that
wanting to
all.
shake and
Oh.
stir up the hyper tier
Oh, that was awful.
establishment.
No, it just went
So-
sideways.
so-
Desert had
and
nowhere to
Our
go.
first
Yeah,
ever
well,
woman
it was literally within seconds. So Desert's gone straight into the back.
Hello, David.
Alex.
Hey, thank you for being subscribed
Wow,
for 2 months,
Trey.
fella. That is
If it
massive.
was
See,
if 3 cars
you
of
can still
DNF,
hear
then
the
yeah,
highlights,
probably would have
boss.
been a restart. But one car.
Well, of
Unfortunately,
course,
it's not what
these
happened.
technical shenanigans are
Well,
always going
Alex
to
is lost
happen,
the
aren't
best.
they? Let's cut you
yeah.
to somewhere else instead.
Sorry, Alex.
Just,
Not the way you would have wanted the season to end.
turn
Nothing
down the,
worse than getting taken out in the
this
first
thing
lap.
here,
Nothing you could have done there.
and,
Just
that thing there. So that should solve the problem. Has that solved the problem? Fair enough, Desert. Now, we are having a race today. Believe it or not, this is tier number 1. We're having 28 people! Oh, wow! Well, 228 people. Let us show you all where we're racing today. And as you can see, we are racing at the wonderful Bahrain International Circuit here. I am just going to get ourselves into the match itself, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll. Well, I believe, actually, but we haven't just got one race. Let us show you the 12 rounds up. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, thank you, a wild pie. You know, what can I say? My PC fan is truly on fire trying to do this. So you're all welcome. It's on charge as well, just so you're all aware. No, I did make myself silent for that bit here. Yes, I know, footballer. Well, that's because, believe it or not, these graphical stuff in progress. They're under construction as the season rages on, so you're just going to have to bear with us here. But I think we've gone through the new team principles, we've gone through our racing. It's time to show you the calendar we've got in store. So as you should be able to see, we are racing here tonight, and they will be taking every week for the next 12 weeks of fun, hyperactive action. We start in Bahrain and then we travel off for a mini European stint, starting off at the beautiful Le Castellet circuit here in France, followed by Monza, with an additional sprint race as well to shake and stir the order indeed. Then we're all going to head off to Hungary for the Hungarian Grand Prix, followed by the Monte Carlo street circuit for the Monaco Grand Prix. A one-off stint in Asia as we head off to Japan and the wonderful Suzuka circuit. before then visiting another iconic track at Silverstone, home of the British Grand Prix. Then we get a nice Ferrari to end the season off, heading off to Mexico then at the Autodromo International Hermanos Rodriguez on May the 9th there, as you can see. Our final sprint race will be held at Spain, the last track actually we've yet to race on F1 2021, so I cannot wait to see what Catalonia can offer. In addition to this, we then head off to round number 10, the Zandvoort circuit, one that will be a very interesting race, I can assure you all, and then we end the season off with two classics, certainly in terms of ending the season. Sao Paulo for the Brazilian Grand Prix, and finally Yas Marina for the Abu Dhabi or United Arab Emirates Grand Prix here. So if we go back to our live feed, hey, thank you so much AJX Twitch, hello, thank you for stopping by. I can't believe we're at 25 people, genuinely this is absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you all for coming along, and I cannot wait to show you all how this season is going to roll. Now, actually, whilst we're waiting, I think I'm going to show you some of the stuff that we've got going on, just for the pure lols of it. As you can see, these are some tester graphics, and as you can see today, these are the standings going into first race, and here are your lineups for the upcoming season, at least in Tier 1. So bear in mind we have another tier that will be airing every Tuesday at the same time, 7 PM British. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell and follow us so you do not forget to miss out. We have got the McLaren lineup, which is slightly wonky there, and it seems to be a little bit more randomised than what I was first thinking of, but hey, that's what happens when you do this stuff live, isn't it? And for those of you wondering, these are the wonderful constructors graphics, and I don't think the rest are appropriate right now. So, as everybody is very confused, listen stream chat, we're figuring this out as we go along. Alrighty then, we're figuring it out as we go along. Let's roll over to the drivers. For the lineup here this evening, you have got in the Mercedes Basketball Dan, the team principal, returning for another stint in the Mercedes alongside Smidgy there, who was one of the title contenders until the very end of the season. AB Thallow will be joining alongside Positive in the Red Bull. Matthew, one of the other team principals to move around, is joining McLaren alongside Creations. Aston Martin have got Franek, and another driver will be joining us in a short while. Kingley Garlic will be racing in the Alpine alongside Phoenix, as we can confirm Harvey E. Booth is in the Aston Martin there alongside Franek, one of the beasts from the east in HTR. We've then got Hurricane and Pepsi in the Ferrari, with Jerka and Tundra in the Alpha Tauri. Tom and It's Church YT will be in the Alfa Romeo, with Andrea and Veloce in the Haas, and the Williams will have Armakinga and Kevin Annihilator. Wow, that is a very good point, footballer. Thank you for reminding me. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to go in and I'm going to set it to Do Not Disturb. I don't know if this will do anything, but hey, there you are. I can always just block your account. But thank you for reminding me on that one. We'll be going at 7 o'clock, which should be now, as we start our wonderful campaign for the all-new season. I know, Grumpy, it is a 200 IQ play. Who would have thought to do that before you started the stream? Listen, I don't know, I'm just the guy waffling on for about 2 hours, you know what I'm saying? But alas, it should be a fun season to look forward to. No denying that. We'll join you in just a sec when we start the qualifying for the Bahrain Grand Prix. And in just 15 seconds time, we will be going live to the casual mouse pad click. What can we say? It seems to be a bit of an ASMR stream. You got computer fans whirling, casual click mouse pads, and you're only going to get that on HTR if you follow us on Twitch. If you don't follow us, you're never going to get this awesome stuff going on. So what can I say? We have 18 minutes of qualifying for those of you who've just joined us to determine the grid, and basically whoever can set the fastest time, whoever can go around the circuits the quickest in one lap, will start on the all-coveted pole position, and who will be the first wonderful driver to dart out of the pit lane and start the year on a high. The drivers not choosing to do it. Oh, we got a Red Bull. It looks like that Thallow will be the first driver to leave the pit lane in terms of getting out the garage, but it's both the Hasses of Andrea and Veloce here, as I'm casually pumping my foot on the throttle pedal to get to this, with Andrea being the first car to leave the pit lane and to officially welcome Season 4 here. And he takes a very interesting line there. I wonder if that's a cheeky tactic. Who actually knows at this point? Who knows? Who knows? Exactly, footballer. If you got fastest, you've got to start at the front, you know? It's a very, very true saying, that. So, let us then find ourselves the driver who will be first to complete a lap. Veloce, our Tier 2 champion, who ended up winning the title in my own car. Seems I'm prideful that I managed to win something in a very chaotic season. But we are going to take away the tyre graphics, as interestingly, Tom has already retired. Oh, it's a heartbreak for the Alfa Romeo team principal, who's already retired. I could say it's a last question mark challenge here on our hands, but I'm not sure if they would plan that so early on in the season. So, we are going to turn away most of the HUD, because I think there's so much HUD where you could just get a little bit overwhelmed. And now, we are about to go live with the first ever qualifying run, as the cars are backing up, trying to keep a good distance from one another, as Veloce is set to go out here and start the first ever run, climbing all through the gears now, straight into it. Must be a priority down this long back straight, making sure the DRS flap is open, which it is, for the Tier 2 champion. Braking now, just before the 100 metre ball, does not lock up. An excellent turn there by the great Dane of HTR, who manages to make a nice sail around the corner there, and keeps us all on the edge of our seats. He brakes at the 50 metre board here, keeping it relatively smooth, a little bit loose on the power. It is his first race, mind you, in Tier 1, so, you know, the finish diamond will not be made just yet. Well, fair enough, it is a last question mark challenge then, Tom. Fair enough, I cannot wait to see what you can do with it. Anyway, with that said, I think another car is approaching in the Alpine, but we'll see what the Phoenix can do in just a moment's time. As Veloce is probably doing this as a bit more of a chilled out run. I cannot see them, you know, making their fastest time on the mediums, but then again, we could be proven wrong. Oh, and he spun the car round. Oh, good skill to not have it damaged in the wall that badly, but that is going to ruin his qualifying run, and a bit of a disaster for the American team there. Meanwhile, Andrea has gone fast in the other Haas with a 126.1 there. What about Phoenix? Can he go any faster? No, it's P2 at the moment. Thallow is rolling round the final corner, but invalidated their time. Right, who's actually going to finish on a lap? I think there's a McLaren on a run, and I think it is Creations who's coming across the line now on 128.4, but on mediums, so that is definitely encouraging. Armour King are there with a 128.4 there on mediums. It's Church YT with a 127.4 on instead of Softs and Phoenix. Has now been dropped to third as Basketball Dan has gone into second place here. Fantastic stuff from the Mercedes team principal. Listen, Harvey, I've got to put them in. It's Haas. How can I not resist the pun? How? You're asking me, that's like asking a human to stop breathing. They're not going to do it. So, yes, anyway, Hurricane who switched from one Italian team to the other, from AlphaTauri to Ferrari, is 4th place with a 127.1. Whiskers, and I mean whiskers, away from getting into that top 2 there. Right, who else is on a flying run? Who else is on a run that's actually going to come across the line? None of the drivers have not set a time yet, so... As Andrea has got even faster here with a 26.0, but remember, for those of you who don't know how Formula 1 works, basically, the more those tyres put the rubber on the track, the faster it'll grade up. And basically, the cars are going to go faster. So, we could very easily get into the 1 minute 25s. How low? We don't know. We're just going to have to find out here. As Armour King is coming into pit lane. Kevin Annihilator, currently sitting in 9th place on a set of mediums. Looking at the fuel telemetry, he has got potentially a few laps in him, I think. Footballer. You're really trying to make me dribble now with that tantalising prediction as to who's going to win, aren't you? Honestly, I do not have a clue. We've got some cracking drivers within this tier, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we've got 2 champions, as Rico has pointed out here. Matthew, who's won the past 2 titles within our first division, and as we see an AlphaTauri rolling around the line to start their flying lap. Let's jump on board with our returning beast from the east, Tundra, who unfortunately missed the second half of last season because they broke their wrist. And because I seem to have a thing called compassion, I've let them join my auspices, you know, in a bid for all of us to get to the top of the HTR standings, repping a beautiful tribute, you know, and a real statement in the fight against Ukraine with their helmet design. It's what you love to see, I've got to say. As the current conflict is ongoing, as we lose a couple of viewers, fair enough. But as he rolls through now in 6th gear, keeping it nice and clean, breaking down into 2nd, no lockups. Interestingly, shoots 3rd gear off very quickly there and boosts around the left-hander, making sure not to take the first one to the inside, but does with the 2nd. DRS flap is nice and open there as he charges forward in 7th gear up into 8th with that beautiful Honda sound file we are blessed with in Formula 1 2021. Now, shifting up into 6th, being brave and taking this corner in 7th gear. Very brave there from the greatest Hungarian so far we have in HTR, turning on all the power they've got now to set one flying lap that could put them in a good position come the second runs, which we will see in just a moment. DRS flap, this could be in the middle pack, I'm thinking. Not quite, that was way much faster than I was expecting, and excellent to see. A 126.5 there from Tundra. Excellent stuff on their return to HTR. Who else is on an actual run? Oh, Thalos, sorry, is on a run in the Red Bull. Pretty good job over the past couple of seasons. Has been a loyal veteran. Takes that wide and over-revs it in 4th. They're not happy with their run. And Franek, a driver who did a little bit of racing last time, but in Season 2 pushed Matthew all the way to the title fight until the race before last, the penultimate one for the season, opening the DRS flap in just a few moments' time. There it goes, the cognizant sign is open. It's good enough for 7th, which on a set of medium tyres, I think you've got to admit, is impressive. As Positive, out of nowhere on mediums, goes 4th fastest there with a 127.1. Absolute, you know, madness here. Absolute madness. I mean, well, I think Veloce is just warming up at the moment, as is Kingly Garlic. I think those two are dialing into the circuit, you know what I'm saying? So at the moment, it is Andrea having a fantastic session so far in pole position with her beautiful, again, Ukraine-inspired helmet there, with Tundra in 2nd and Basketball down in 3rd. Actually, he's on an outlap now, so let's check on board with the Mercedes team principal. Last year was running Alpine, and I think this year, now they're in a more, what's the word, popular team? I think Mercedes is a bit more popular than Alpine. But he's now been dropped to 4th as Veloce has now set a beautiful time there in the distance of a 126.8. Great stuff from the Haas driver there. And now breaking down, keeps it in third. Interesting tactic to prevent wheel spin is obviously to be in a higher gear in a Formula 1 car. Oh, he's got over the curb, and that's his run thrown down the bin. He might as well wipe it and flush it. That was that one mistake can be what's it called? Oh, as there's a bit of pit delays going on there between one of the Williams drivers and Positive there, so I wonder if the stewards will investigate that. Meanwhile, Smidgy is 6/10 up here. Excellent stuff, you love to see it. And coming across the line in just a few moments' time, they're about to open the DRS flap, as they do, and it's a 126.9, nearly a whole second faster. Excellent stuff from the new Mercedes recruit, formerly of Aston Martin. Unfortunate to not have won the title. They were so consistent, and I think that consistency is really going to shine through this season, you know what I'm saying? As Andrea is up by 1,000th of a second here, it could be one of the fastest times possible. It looks like one of my boys. Oh no, it's not, it's basketball down. Giving him a little turn, a little bit of a helping hand to the Italian, who's yet to win, but is not going to set the lap. Oh yes, they will! It's a 125! There we go, 0.9. Fantastic stuff there by Andrea, who is really meaning business this season. Getting a nice pole position, potentially early off, and making a massive statement of intent. Veloce is coming in, Smidgy is a couple of tenths down, Franek is invalidated his run. Hurricane's invalidated, Clemson's invalidated. Kevin, though, is someone who is not invalidated. One of the few team principals who chose to relinquish their duties and opted to go from Aston Martin to Williams, which they personally admitted was one of their favourite looking cars from this year's game, so fair enough, drive what you love, I guess. And now charging to the line, they don't have enough fuel for some of that time, but that would have been in the 127 mark-ish. But meanwhile, King Garlic is going quite faster compared to their first run, and I would hope so. Given that time's a little bit on the gingerly side, I think, and this is all they're going to have enough fuel for. Looking at their steering wheel, it's still 7th fastest, which is a massive improvement there, nearly up by 10 seconds, and that is what you love to see. Really, you know, showing off. Oh, there's a bit of Aston Martin pit delays going on. The team not fully operationally in sync, as Tundra has set 126.5 there, and I'm sure it's just getting warmed up ready for that main run under the lights here at Bahrain. Right, who is on a clean run? Positively given him a look at this evening. Hurricane's on a clean run though. 6th. Oh, Matthew was spun! Matthew was spun! Oh, what a terrible start for our champion here. Spinning, nearly beaching the McLaren. I think he might want to trace this one away with a stencil set, you know what I'm saying? Because he must be feeling pretty dark about the situation, all things considered. Yes, indeed, Matthew has successfully managed to spin the car. I mean, to be fair, last year he was pretty bulletproof. I mean, bar Canada, where he did, you know, bottle that one. You know, he was very consistent and got himself into the overall, what's it called, title fight and won. But coming across the line is Tundra. Thallow has just got into second, but AlphaTauri's going to go faster with a 1 minute 26.2 from the Hungarian, and that is a lap time you just love to see here from Tundra. Creations though goes even faster by nearly 1/10 of a second, and that is how close our tier 1 grid can be, because I think the AlphaTauri is letting the McLaren through, which is fair enough, but I don't think they're going to settle the lap time now. Meanwhile, who else is on a run? With 3 minutes to go, Positive has gone up by 6/10 of a second here. This could be a fast one. The Red Bull team principal has moved up into 3rd, setting a 1 minute 26.26. Only 3/10 faster here than Tundra, and that is the level of closeness we are getting within this championship tier. Right, what's on a run? Who is on a clean run? Pepsi has gone up by 2/10 here within the first sector and then lost that time, sadly. They don't have enough fuel, so it doesn't really be 7 lap time realistically. Armour Kinga, the Welsh Dragon of Hyper-Tier Racing, our vice champion from season number 2, pushed his teammate at the time in the Alpine, Matthew, all the way to the line, and in the end, it was close, there's no cigar, to quote the old expression himself, and yes, we are now seeing Armour Kinga successfully negotiate there the first part of the S's, choosing to go into 7th. I mean, the fact these drivers are putting it into 7th gear is a very brave thing, I think personally, but there we are. That could lead to the odd spin armour come the race, which will start in just over 5 minutes time, so make sure to stay tuned and go and get your drinks now if you are here primarily for the race. There's a yellow flag ahead. I think there's just a bunch of cars in the pit lane here. Again, you do not want to get a speeding penalty here. Oh, what's Matthew is doing some leaving. I think that's tactical though, so I'm just going to let it slide. Positive is in, as all the drivers now will be surely wanting to gun for that final lap here, as Phoenix has retired, so the Alpine will only be able to set a 1 minute 27.1, and they could be starting as high as 13th is the best case scenario. But that could drop given how close the field is here. But we'll see what happens. I think a couple of drivers are now starting to get a shimmy on. Kevin Annihilator's got it by 2/10 here. That could put him into P14 through the first sector, so let's jump on board as Thallow darts out the way. Kevin going for a lap in the dying moments as Pesky and Phoenix have retired. We knew Phoenix, but Pesky has. I think it's tactical though. I believe it's tactical. I do not believe Pesky would have crashed. But oh, and Kevin there getting slightly eager on the curb, and that's going to throw his runaway. But I do think he has enough fuel. But again, the Williams dashboard with it being so far away makes it hard to tell, but yes, he does have enough fuel, believe it or not, as Harvey Booth sets an incredible lap time, only 1,000 slower than Andrea. Let's turn to the fight for pole here, because at the moment he's separated by 1,000, there's only 30 seconds to go. Andrea, realistically, oh, he bottled it there, nearly spinning the car out, but he managed to keep it in a straight line, and it's a 1:25.7 now. What can Harvey do? This man, you know, season 3 was good in some points. I think he could have done better in himself, but overall, he kept his nose clean and got a very good championship position from it. Oh, it gets in, but he's bottled into the wall! Oh, we got 2 throttle happy, and that is very good news if you're a Haas fan. Creations couldn't set a faster time. Positive couldn't set a faster time. Tundra just got over the line to start his run, but we'll see what happens there. Thallow, Church YT can't set a faster time. Hurricane can't go faster. Veloce is trying his best. Let's check on board with an Alpine, I think, who's running. Kingley Garg is going to dart it into the pit lane. One of the McLarens is going. I believe it's Matthew. He's gone up by a second here. That could be good, but it's not going to put him on the front row. Our Tier 1 champion from last season will start in 17th place. Wow. That is a shock. But I bet it's tactical with him being on the mediums. So we'll just trust the process around here. Let's never judge, and let's always spread Formula Love and not Formula Hate. Kevin Annihilator rolls to the line now. DRS Open, one of our founders, pushes the champion into 18th place. Wowzers me trousers. Right, one of the Aston Martins, Frank is on a run. This could put him up by about 8/10 here, but he's going to dart it into the pit lane, even though he has enough to complete the run. So he's sandbagging, wanting to start on the mediums perhaps. One of the Alpha Tauris is now rolling across the line. Jerker will stay in 11th here. Will have the benefit of free tyre strategy. As Thallow moves into 5th place, Tundra with the slipstream from his teammate goes up to 3rd, but it's not quite enough for pole. And Andrea 330 will take pole position. here at the Bahrain International Circuit in Sakhir. A fantastic run there, slight wobble at the end, but the Italian has managed to be very brave out there against the circumstances and has managed to put his car onto pole position. Yes, it was very, very close indeed, Veloce. It was absolutely intense indeed. So let us roll through the grid for the wonderful Bahrain Grand Prix that's about to take place. Andrea, who has moved to the house, will be starting from pole position. Harvey will be starting in second in the Aston Martin. Tundra, after being injured, has come back and taken third place. Creations is in fourth there in the McLaren. Positive and Thallow Lockout row 3 with Red Bulls, with Smidgy, the best of the Mercedes, in 7th. It's Church YT gets into 8th, whilst Hurricane and Veloce will take out the top 10. Jerker in 11th gets the first choice of free tyre strategy alongside Franick in 12th. Keely Garlic is 13th, Basketball Down is 14th, Phoenix is 15th, Pepsi 16th, Kevin Annihilate is 17th, Matthew in 18th, Armaking in 19th, and with Tom having a penalty, he will be doing the last to first challenge despite his qualifying penalty. What do you all think of that? All 23 of you, please send us in your questions about the session so far. How do you feel it's gone? I'm genuinely curious to see what you think. I'm genuinely curious to see what you think of this qualifying session so far. We are coming up to 47 minutes in, so I'm just going to quickly have do you know when you think you have something and then you... Oh, I do have my thing I wanted. Hooray! For H2O. Hooray! That is always a good thing to have, people. Get yourselves hydrated before this race, because it's going to be an absolute slapper, I'll tell you that now. What can I say? I just tasted the feeling of ethically sourced tap water. But there we are. Well, we're going to let the drivers decide their strategy now. Despite in real life the what tyres you qualified on for the top 10 rule being abolished for 2022, the 2022 video game has not yet come out. So, it is the top 10 drivers will start on the same tyres as they did for qualifying, which basically means the top 10 will be starting on softs in this case. And then, what's going to be really cool is all the drivers from 11th down to 20th can choose whatever tyres they want. Now, the rough strategy here is you're going to take the mediums for about 19 laps in the race, give or take by 2. So between laps 17 to 21, the drivers should be running mediums. In the most extreme cases, as I proved 2 seasons ago, you can take the mediums to 26 laps, but I would not recommend you do it unless you've got absolutely nothing to lose. And you don't have any bad knees like I. So the drivers are just preparing their setup alterations, because you can make certain adjustments. Things like the front wing, things like the on-throttle differential and the tyre pressures, you can still adjust, which is going to be very important in the race trim, as the signal has been given now, and thus in 30 seconds we'll be going live for what will be an exciting season. I cannot wait to show you all this season. It is going to be truly some magical stuff, if I do say so myself. Right, are you all ready? Well, I definitely agree with Footballer's comment here and saying good luck to all of you drivers out there. We're having a formation lap, so it's a chance to go over the strategy, I think, for the drivers further down, and to watch any unfolding madness. So, lights are out, and away they gingerly tumble. Let's go to tyres then. So, interesting here, pretty much everybody downwards, except for Tom, has opted to run with the medium compound of tyres. That is very bold, very brave, and assumes a safety car is not going to come out here. So I'll be very curious to see whether if the medium runners can genuinely fight against the top guys at the start. And what can Tom do? I'm very curious. Can he actually climb his way up the order in that first lap or two when all the chaos is going on the fresher rubber? The number 66, you know, we'll see what he can do. But yeah, Andrea is on pole. My prediction for a race win. Do you know what? I'm going to remove my bias, because I could very easily say my AlphaTauri drivers every race, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say Creations. He won the first race last season, if I remember correctly. But I could be misremembering, so please forgive me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to say Creations is going to take the first win of this season. So, yeah. And I'm going to predict that we will have, out of the 20 grid of full-time races, 17 will finish. There you are, that's my predictions. What are your predictions? I'd like to read them out now as we go through the stream. Haas double podium. That would be fantastic footballer, if I do say so myself. Andrea with the dub. I mean, listen, the kid nearly won a race last season in the US of A. Unfortunately, before he got a penalty, and that pushed him down to second. He has been clamouring for a win for so long now, and I am positive in the fact that he will be wanting this win a lot more than some of the others. Harvey has not won either. Tundra will also be hungry after his injury, and Creations, after missing out on the title fight, will be wanting to get back up there alongside Positive. The drivers are lining up now, and once Tom's beautiful tribute to Ukraine is adorned, we will be going underway. 1, 2, 3, 4 drivers are saying Slava Ukraini, along with all of us here at HTR. Fantastic prediction there, Deza, and I hope it will be coming true. So for the first time, the 10 dots will be coming on after a bit of a glitchy start. It's lights out and away they tumble. It's a brilliant start if you're an Aston Martin by the name of Harvey, who's boosted himself into first here. But Andrea going for the dive bomb and successfully keeps the lead. Meanwhile, further behind, it's absolute madness going on, but they've all made it clean, which is impressive in itself, to be honest with you. But yes, Andrea leads from Harvey and Creations in third, Tundra down in fourth there, with Hurricane in fifth, Positive down to sixth. But Fallow and Veloce have had a little bit of a tumble, as Tom is flying through the order here. Going from last to 14th. I wonder, is there some damage to the Red Bull perhaps? He's going for a manoeuvre. I don't think there is, and for Veloce's okay, as is the Red Bull, so they've had just a bad start or some kind of incident. Now let's jump ourselves up to the front, which is actually looking a little bit stale. We're going to move further down the order, as always. Chirka runs very wide there. Franek has already sailed his way from 12th to 9th. I mean, you can never count out Franek in any race here at HTR. He is one of our fastest. So, I don't blame you, Risky Biscuit. I never used Chaz as the first spinner of the season, and unfortunately it's Kingly Garlic there, doing an excellent job to not give himself any damage. An amazing testament to car control, but being a little bit too confident on those mediums on heavy fuel is going to cost you. Meanwhile, his teammate is getting suscepted by Tom there, who's moved him into 12th, and he's going to fight this one, as is Tom. All three of these cars in the fight for 11th are going to be battling through, as it's Church and Veloce are pitting, so we'll see what tires they shoot onto in a moment. But as it stands, after one lap of racing, it's Andrea who leads from Harvey Booth, and then Creations in third there. Just for your random curiosity, they are going both onto a set of yellow-walled medium tyres here today, so that should be a lot of pace later on in this race. But Matthew has climbed his way from 18th to 14th here. He's going to make a manoeuvre on Phoenix. Does a switcheroo. He's got the Uno reverse card right up in his sleeve. Has learned from qualifying, and that has put the McLaren team principal into 13th. Meanwhile, this fight for 9th is absolutely cracking to watch potentially here. Pepsi in 9th, Jerker in 10th, Tom in 11th. Stuff that could be very interesting. Basketball Dan thinking of a manoeuvre, getting very eager on those mediums. Tom is on the softs. The only one in this group is on the softs. And there's the second spin of the year. Basketball Dan goes right round, successfully keeps the car. But it's a massive shame, and a start the Mercedes team principal did not want at all. That's going to put his race a little bit out of kilter there. Andrea putting in the laps of his life while straining his DRS battery compared to Harvey. He's absolutely pushing like a stabbed rat out there. Meanwhile, Creations is out of that DRS window of Harvey as Pepsi makes a manoeuvre on Jerker,
successfully keeping it from him. And now Tom, who's realistically going to have this, I mean, he's on the soft tyres, but Jerker puts an incredible fight up here. What can the Czech do? He successfully defends on a set of mediums. Oh, and he spun! Oh, he got just a little bit too defensive. That's costing the AlphaTauri driver to drop down to the back. It's not the first, and I certainly don't think it'll be the last. I mean, if you're going to have a spin, at least do it early on to give yourself plenty of time to catch up. And meanwhile, Matthew, through the chaos, has shot up into P10. Blimey heck. Incredible stuff there from Matthew there, climbing his way up the order. As Positive makes a manoeuvre on Hurricane here. Great stuff from the Red Bull team principal, who I'm sure will be hunting down Tundra any second now. He will be absolutely going for it. Bearing in mind here that obviously, you know, he did get into the top 3 and certainly in the title fight. Indeed, it is Spinala Central here at Bahrain so far. And it is a cracking fight for 5th. But let's go further down the order, as there's nothing on track. As all, interesting, there's a Williams sandwich, and I think Thalum is caught right between it here. Let's see what Phoenix can do to defend him. He's got a bunch of hungry cars behind him, and he hasn't got that benefit of DRS. Matthew very effortlessly gets past him, but Phoenix stays back to try and get the DRS come down this straight. But Matthew successfully gets it done around the left of Phoenix, but now with the ERS and DRS, the Alpine is going to go on the attack here. Oh, a little bit of touchy there, and Thomas decides to try and sneak a manoeuvre out of nowhere. Oh, this is getting way too uncomfortable for anyone's good. They're still going side by side, going down to that beautiful left-hander under the lights, and they haven't made contact yet. And Tom just gave a little bit of a nudge here as a yellow flag. Oh, and it's Tundra who spun. Oh, what a massive shame from the AlphaTauri who spun. Oh, it's an absolute catastrophe there. Oh dear, oh dear. Definitely not the start they wanted, but I'm sure they can fight themselves back through the race. Meanwhile, Matthew is sitting in 11th here, boosting away, thinking to himself, he's now got 2 cars, but that is both a blessing and a curse, because now Phoenix will have the DRS from Jerker to defend for himself. Let's see what happens here. Tundra peels into the pit lane. Obviously, he's probably get rid of those very burnt softs at this point, as there seems to be no damage sustained to the car, but these two are going to go for it again on round number 2. At this time, the opposite rolls as Phoenix goes around the left, but Matthew actually keeps it going. Rides on the curb. DRS for the McLaren. The Alfa Romeo is going to get involved. Matthew makes the manoeuvre. Can the Alfa Romeo pull this off? Let's see what he can do. Pushes him down the middle, and Thallo is going to try and go around the 2 of them. To no avail, but that is the Alpine there in 10th place. Right, further up, it is 3 tenths between Andrea and Harvey, as it stands, ladies and gentlemen. So this fight could be looking like a potential overtake's about to happen at any given moment. The Church has passed Tundra, so that is good news if you're an Alfa Romeo fan there. However, the Haas team, one of the favourites, I think the new favourites amongst the stream audience, could lose their win within the next lap as the Aston Martin rolls round the final corner here. Doesn't overuse it, as Andrea has used a lot of their ERS, and this could be highly useful for Harvey, who's going to go to the left. Andrea squeezing him very tight there, but that was a very easy manoeuvre for the Aston Martin, and that's going to put him into 1st place. But Andrea can now fight back with the DRS flap open. Let's see what happens here. He's using all he's got, but there's not much left. However, Harvey gives the space, but he cannot do it as the Aston Martin has definitely shaken past the Haas. It'll be very important to keep their morale going in order to prevent a catastrophe. But anyway, meanwhile, Tom has got past Phoenix, and even Thallo could be getting past Phoenix here, who's also on the soft, and oh, they touched! Oh, very good recovery from Phoenix. But I think Alpine are feeling the troughs right now in the mountains, and it's not been a good day if your car has got a bit of blue in it, or if you like the colour blue. But meanwhile, his teammate is right on the back of this train after having to pit for mediums after spinning earlier on, the first spinner of the season. And now sits himself right at the back of this queue for 13th place here. Meanwhile, there's one Aston Martin mixer manoeuvre, so could another, as Franek looks very much like a manoeuvre is coming, as Thallow has dropped down the order. He has spun. Oh, what a shame. Oh, it was all going so well as Creations and Hurricane make a pit stop. That's Franek up into 4th and Smidgy into 5th there. Let's see what tyres these two go on. Wait, what? Mediums again. Mediums again. Wait. Am I going borderline insane here? Hold on. No, it was just the game bugging out. Sorry. So they are doing the one stop, soft to medium tyres. But that'll put them in this epic fight as Basketball Dan slams around Phoenix there, turning into ashes as Churkin nearly loses it there. And that got my heart right in the stomach. No, footballer, it would be a medium soft stint, or a soft medium, as Basketball Dan successfully retains onto 12th place there. Let's see now what the fight at the front can do. Andrea, though, he has lost 2/10 behind. It's not looking good for the Haas, sorry. It's looking good if you're an Aston Martin fan. But if the Haas can just sit there, sit tight, he could be on course for a win. Meanwhile, Positive and Franek have both done a great job so far, quietly getting on with their work. And Franek started on the mediums in P12, could have gone much faster, but chose not to because they wanted to start on the mediums. And now he is going to feel the reward of it now, as Positive softs are absolutely dead. And I'm surprised the Red Bull team principal did not make a pit stop yet, but there we are, each to their own. Franek, the number 15 from Poland, looks like he could be making an excellent manoeuvre here in the next DRS straight. The second out of 3 on this course, opens the flat nice and wide, and no avail just yet, but it is a matter of when at this stage. Meanwhile, there's a cracking fight going on between the two Williams here, as looks like Arnekinger is making sure that his fellow driver Kevin can annihilate the garlic. Let's see what happens. No, it looks like the Alpine has made the Williams cry a bit in the cockpit, and so the King gets to keep on to 10th for now. Meanwhile, actually, the Church has made a holy move on Veloce there, and one he'll be feeling like was an absolute sin, because, he was getting overtaken. But, yeah, I'm not too sure on that one, as Thallow is down in last at the moment. Let's see the fight for the front once again. These two are getting close, but Harvey is really pulling out all the stops here, really determined to get their first win in a while. And the Church has retired! They'll need to go to a confession afterwards for retiring and being the first one of the season. No safety car called out, but that has put Franek into 3rd. That was more because of Positive is making a pit stop. He is going on to a set of mediums. What is Smitty going to do? To battle the mechanics, it seems. He's also going on to mediums. Let's see what the two mechanics could do. Red Bull beat Mercedes. That's a sentence I'm sure we're all kind of used to at this point. As Franek is sitting in 3rd and could help his teammate in an Aston Martin sandwich. And thank you, MJ. I'm glad you're enjoying it. And yeah, the Church has left. I think we need to go to a confession. I don't blame them. Maybe I'll sing a prayer for them once this is all done. But anyway, Ashley Creations has made a double manoeuvre here. He's actually pulling this off around the right of Phoenix. Excellent stuff there by the McLaren, and able to put himself into the top 10 now. With that very nice helmet, if I do say so myself. But anyway, Kevin Annihilator and Armor King are behind. Are trailing the Alpine here. And it's not looking great. I mean, it's looking good for Will in terms of a consistent front, but in terms of beating out the Alpine, it's not looking good in that front, as the two of them are combined 1 second behind when you add up both the distances, so not the most pleasant gap. But Andrea is in, so he's making his pit stop. He's going to go onto that set of mediums now. He's in the Hasselby all the way to the end of the pit lane, and now he'll be coming onto a set of yellow wall tyres. Going on to the mediums there. Oh, but he's forgot the clutch! Oh, it was a horrible mistake there by Andrea's part, and that's going to put him down, down, down. Can Creations get him? Can he be a massive buffer? Look at how the Aston Martin. Yes, he can. Andrea's now going to be caught right in this fight here, as Andrea's going to have to make a manoeuvre and try to fend from Hurricane. But meanwhile, Basketball Dan is fighting for P10. But the Phoenix, oh, bottled it there. I think he's kept the car running, but he did have a bit of a bottle there from the Alpine. And oh, bit of touching between Andrea and Hurricane. You know, the Haas is absolutely desperate to escape this pack. He's on the most precious mediums he could possibly be on here. And Hurricane, though, I know this from experience, he will never go down without a good fight. And he successfully does that in terms of keeping Jerker behind, but Positive is going to try and go around the right of him, around this double left-hander, and Veloce's the first to get a 3-second time penalty, and Positive has done an excellent manoeuvre. Wow, as Tom and Matthew have both picked, oh, there's contact! Matthew has been given a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting, as has Tom's got 3 seconds. They've obviously touched, and that's brilliant news for the Aston Martins. First of all, Harvey is pitting in first, as so is Tom, so I wonder if the stewards will investigate that one. I don't know, I think that one is definitely going to make the drivers not feel like they're racing as one. That is for certain. But meanwhile, this fight here has now become third temporarily, as the Williams are going to go for a massive dive bomb. Oh, a little bit of damage there to Garlic. And Albert King has been given a 3-second time penalty, as Kevin is trying to annihilate the Garlic, it seems. But indeed, it's all blue. That's third to fifth there. But now, the Garlic is well and truly in the mayonnaise sandwich. Meanwhile, Franek is in the lead on those mediums, so they'll be going quite long. As will Pepski, quietly getting on with his business. You know, up there in 30. Then now Matthew is joined onto the back of this queue after the... I mean, this in football, that's very true. You know, turn 10 is very hard to get clean. So, there we go. With that said, and it looks like Harvey on the fresher tyres is really going to try and cut past this order here. Oh, Matthew getting a little bit of a slide on, feeling the pressure of having to defend his title for the second year in a row. We'll have to see what the Aston Martin can do. Both drivers look extremely quick under the lights of Bahrain, and we'll see how this pace can be transferred now as rolling round the corner. The Aston Martin now will have DRS, but thankfully Creations is getting closer to this battle, which could be very useful for Matthew. He's keeping the pace nice and smooth there. But Harvey's going to go to the left. He's going to try and do a ridiculous move. It actually worked! Wow, that was ridiculously incredible, but it doesn't stop there, as now he's going to go for another one on Kevin. Oh my goodness, he's actually done a double overtake. What a madness. This man is really unleashing himself here on the photos in a camera booth here. I mean, along with Positive's move around the outside of that double left-hander, that's got to be an overtake of the race. Getting past 2 in 1 there. And Kevin is... oh! Lost a bit of front wing there. And one of the 2 current owners of the league has bottled it. They've annihilated themselves, and that will not be the start to Tier 1 this season that they will be looking for, leaving their boss now basically in the cold. As cold as the blue on that car. But the Aston Martin charge continues here, as Harvey looks set to try and get past Garlicki. But we'll see how this goes. We've got 20 of you still watching us. I mean, thank you ever so much for watching us here. Garlic has run out of ERS. This is surely going to be Harvey's chance here. He's got plenty to use up. Going to go to the outside, and before even the DRS is turned on properly, yeah, he's sailed past the Garlic. He wasn't going to be watching for that, and he's going to go for another manoeuvre on Armour King around the left of the Williams. No, bit of touchy, but no damage. And a beautiful move there by Harvey. And now he just got one more car to clear in the form of Pepsi before he could perhaps, slow down the field a little bit to ensure that Franek gets a nice clean pit stop. But yes, that won't be for a couple of laps anyway, given the fact he starts on those medium tyres. As Phoenix has now got a 3-second time penalty. Interestingly, Phoenix is on the hards, as is Thallow, as is Dan. So very interesting from those three. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with that. Though alas, Harvey is looking like to make a manoeuvre on Pepsi. I mean, I'm just going to whip up the tyre graphic here, but as you can see, 12 lap mediums versus fresh ones are clearly making a difference. And Pepsi's putting up a good fight here. Forcing, you are allowed to do it once or twice down the straight, but Harvey, he's got him even before the corner, and there's nothing Pep can even do about it. He's just going to ski off into the distance. And now it is an Aston Martin 1-2. Something I don't think many of us would have expected, as I think, oh no, it's the other Alpine. Phoenix has spun at the Kevin corner. And it's a massive, massive shame there. Just to really compile the misery for the Phoenix today. That is for certain. As Garlic has now picked up a 3-second time penalty. Well, footballer, to answer your question, Pepsi came from not actually making a pit stop, so there you go, that's why he's into 3rd place. Meanwhile, Creations behind is on a little bit fresher compound of mediums now. I think he'll be looking for a manoeuvre on the Ferrari. A battle of McLaren versus Ferrari is one the F1 purists will always love to the day they stop loving the sport. Pulling out to the left-hand side now off the Ferrari. Yeah, that's pretty easy, I mean, come on. It's going to be a hard one, was it, in fact? Playing the tactical long game, and that is what you'll love to see. Indeed, Norton, we've only had one retirement. I am genuinely impressed. We're halfway through the race. We've only had one retirement. And in terms of penalties, we've only had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 penalties. Only shared between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 drivers. So again, really clean racing. This is what we love to see here. But as we reach the halfway mark, Armour King, no, that's because Pepsi is pitting in very early. Are they going to do a 2-stop? Him and Garlic. That's hard. But the two of them. That is a very brave call round Bahrain. I will say that much. But there we are. And so, for your confirmation, let's run you through the order as it stands up to the rest. Franek leads from Harvey in 2nd here. Creations in 3rd. Armour King in 4th. We've got Matthew in 5th, and then it is positive in 6th. Andrea, your pole sitter, in 7th with Hurricane. Smidgy in 9th and Joker in 10th. Tom is in 11th, Tundra in 12th, Pepsi 13th, King Guard 14th, both who just pitted onto hards. Veloce in 15th, Dan is in 16th, Kevin Annihilator is in 17th, Phoenix in 18th, and Thallow in 19th. With the only retirement so far being the Alfa Romeo of the It's Church. Well, when you think, thinking often leads to problems. Sometimes I've found anyway. When I'm doing my driving, as the Mercedes is off, and I think it's Dan, he slammed himself off and lost his front wing. That's not a Mercedes you want to see, and looks like after their season of nearly winning the combined constructors, it's going to be a long, tough slog for the team in teal as Veloce picks up another 3-second time penalty. Positive gets a manoeuvre on Armour King in the Williams, and he successfully does that there. I mean, bearing in mind, Positive's means are only 6 laps old here, so they're going to be very fresh. As Andrea's going to make a great dive around the right. Excellent stuff there on Armour King. And that is certainly what you love to see there from the Italian. Repping the colours that if you just swapped the blue for red on the halo there, you can pretend it's an Italian themed car. Can we all just pretend, have a bit of imagination, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, meanwhile, Matthew, he has a very tough task of keeping behind one of his title rivals from last year, Positive behind. The former Tier 2 champion will be surely looking to go for the title this year in the Red Bull, a car I'm sure they wanted to drive for absolutely ages. But with that said, it's going to be a case of Positive keeping P5 for now, and this little group here stretches all the way back to Hurricane, and the two who look like they're going to struggle from this are Matthew and Armour King, mainly because they've got 15 lap tyres compared to some of them who've got 10 laps less, and now Matthew has to defend for his life against Positive here. Matthew still using ERS. Positive trying desperately to save it, but he's going to make a manoeuvre around the right. Oh, he locks up though, and Matthew is going to punish on it, but cannot respond due to how old his tyres are. He's going to get the DRS and be behind Andrea. He's going to go for a manoeuvre. They're going to go 3 wide. This is surely not going to work. Andrea's picked up a 3-second time, but he's touched Matthew. That's going to make the champion absolutely raging like a Red Bull there. But that sees Positive keep on, get into 4th, and Andrea in 5th. No, Norton, because, you know, Andrea's Italian. So you could just, you know, if you just say swap the blue, it then becomes Italy. White, green, and red. But anyway, I could be mistaking my flags. Anyway, I mean, not necessarily the greatest in the world when it comes to a lot of things. So yeah. Anyway, it's Aston Martin 1-2 at the front with Creations in 3rd, Positive in 4th there, with Andrea in 5th place. Right, let's see what's going on. Looks like Hurricane actually, who's not got that much ERS left on him, being very aggressive throughout this race. And forces Armour King to take a bit of a risky line. Maybe it was all part of the mind games. He's not got much ERS to defend from. Armour King chooses not to fight this one, and letting the Ferrari absolutely dart right past him. Nothing he could really do to respond. As Dan has now got a 3-second time penalty. What else is going on? Is this a quiet race? Oh, actually no, there's something going on at the back. I know you're all not so keen on the back of the pack, but you know, there is some action going on here. Estalo makes a very nice manoeuvre for 17th place, and oh, a bit aggressive on the brakes there, I think. Could have given Phoenix some damage there. Never what you like to see. Brake checking is only really good in doing that. Want to make your opponents crash. But let's see what else is going on. There's Andrea. Now, the thing is that Andrea's got a 3-second time penalty. If you were him, wouldn't you just let Positive through and just kind of save your battery a bit? I mean, bearing in mind, Positive has got more of that juice to give in terms of the ERS battery deployment system than Andrea. That is a genuine question, I do wonder. Hurricane is in 6th here with Armour King in 7th and Smidgely in 8th. Joker there. Really desperate to try and get up to that main pack on 17 lap mediums as Franek is now making his pit stop onto a set of softs. So the charge is going to begin. Creations gets past. Is Andrea going to get past? Yes, he does, as does Positive. Can Armour King? No. So Franek will now have to conquer through just as the race was starting to get a bit boring. 5 more cars. It's a yellow flag. It's an Alpine again. And oh, it's Stallo in the Red Bull. Ah, it's a massive shame here, as the hard tyres really seem to be struggling around the circuit here. But actually, I say that, and then Kingly Garlic is now into 10th, so I mean, who's really losing? Jerker also makes his pit stop there, going on to a set of soft tyres. But now, the charge is on for Franek. Can he get himself back to the front? Now that he has got 11 laps left in this race, to get himself the all-important victory here at HTR. One that he's not had for a while, and I think he'll be very desperate to get one in order to start the season the way he means to carry on. But he's going to try and go around the left of Positive, trying to trip him into a mistake here. He's just going to sit back and wait tight. Positive does not have as much battery, and Franek is going to make the manoeuvre around the right of Positive, and before the DRS is activated, he's making the move. He is on fire, stream chat. Put that fire emojis in the stream chat in the comments, because this man is on a mission. He's on a mission to win. He's here to shake up HTR for this season, and Andrea puts up a great defence, but there's nothing he can do for the power of those soft tyres, and Creations is the next victim on the hit list of the pole man. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing that can stop him, it seems. But now Creations, it's only a matter of, I guess, when. I mean, he's got a almighty task. The mediums can go to the end now, but it's going to be a massive task. As Armour King now pits for softs as well. Matthew has gone fastest though, despite Franek's arch. Oh, bit of touchy going on there. I mean, that's not what you like to see. I mean, it's not really appropriate for Formula 1. Touchy is not good in Formula 1. It's a yellow flag. I think it's a Haas of Veloce, and I think his debut is going to be one he'll want to forget. Definitely, I'm sure the boss 8 Data will be having some constructive feedback to give to their driver. And so Franek is rounding the corner, braking and pushing on the throttle very quickly here, as he is absolutely determined to get past the number 15 sitting in the tracks, waiting for that DRS. Intelligent driving, if I've ever seen it at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's going to be ERS deployed, DRS turned on, but Creations has got all of the battery, but he's choosing not to fight him. Interesting there, Creations admitting, yeah, you got the softs, I'll get you at the end of the race. And now he's got to hunt his teammate, who is 6 seconds ahead, and only on 9 lap mediums, which aren't that bad. I mean, they're not fresh, they're like middle age, they're like the target demographic for BBC 2, if you will. You know, make of that what you will. So, actually, there's a bit of a manoeuvre going on as Jerker's going to go around the left of Pepski on fresh softs versus the hards. It's no wonder, really. It's not even a contest. Kingly Garlic has not got any battery left because he's fighting so hard. And I'm glad my boy is being intelligent about it and really trying to save up and wait for the opportunity, because he knows it's going to come around the mountain when it comes. Who's the TP now? Well, which team? If you're asking that question, footballer for Aston Martin, this is Will. Will is our team principal for Aston Martin. One of the 3 new ones, alongside his brother Tom and 8 Data there. However, Jerker in the AlphaTauri, who had an early spin, is looking to really redeem himself on the set of soft tyres and sails his way up into P number 9. You know, excellent stuff there from the AlphaTauri. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin has set the fastest lap of the race so far, determined to get that extra point, and Andrea is going to now fight Creations, but interestingly does not go for the manoeuvre. He's being a bit tactical here, trying to make Creations waste his battery. I mean, bear in mind, does he nearly drop the car and bottled it there. Creations still keeps on to 3rd as it stands. Well, 60% of the battery there, compared to Andrea's 30 and Positive's 30. Creations really is in the driving seat here. So he's able to really shadow over his opponents with the power of ERS. Sorry, I know these puns are like an arrow to your heart, I understand. If you need to turn off your electronics because of me, I don't blame you. I do not blame you. But anyway. Oh, God, what am I like it. As Andrea is now going to go over the manoeuvre. Pretty easy there by the McLaren. I wonder if he's doing that deliberately. Again, he doesn't need to get past Andrea technically. As long as he can stay within 3 seconds, he's won. So maybe he's being tactical about this one. Maybe he's trying to sit there and keep behind him and make sure Positive doesn't get in front, because Positive, remember, has got 2 lap pressure tyres, as you can see on your screen with all the telemetry. But now switching it up into 7th gear and then into 8th. It's going to be a fast charge, but it should be a very easy manoeuvre for the McLaren. Yeah, that was... You need to call Staples because that was an easy one. But Andrea is actually putting up a fight here. Really pushing the McLaren, but just about giving each other enough room. Enough that is necessary, and now the Haas is on a flying charge here as Positive is trying to turn this result into a good one and not a negative, as it stands for their high standards. As Franek has already cut the gap down by half. Blimmin' heck, Jerker is going for another move around the left of the Ferrari, and it worked again. And now his next target is Tom, who's 12 seconds up the road on very old mediums compared to fresh softs. It could be a matter of when the Alpha becomes Alpha. But anyway, let's see what happens as Hurricane puts a great defence, but meanwhile in the fight for third, the only on-track action going on, it seems, or the highest bit of on-track action I should say, is Creations. Keep it onto it from Andrea and then Positive here. As I think we'll turn away the tyre graphic for now, just so you are curious. Franek has made an incredible 10 positions, Tom has done an incredible job at 13, Armour King did an excellent job at 9 positions there, and you can read the rest for yourself. But however, now these drivers are going to be pushing with only 4 laps to go now of the beautiful Bahrain International Circuit here in, well, Bahrain, I don't know what else to say that, as Andrea is going to go for a move around the left, and that's pretty easy. I mean, but we'll see what happens now as we ride on board with Creations. Let's see what the Haas and the McLaren can do in this duel in the desert. But Creations is going to create a great manoeuvre, but he's absolutely overcooked that one there, like a piece of bacon on a sun barbecue, and that has put the Haas into 3rd place as it stands. Thank you to all 18 of you who are still watching us. Please don't forget to check our socials. If you scroll down, you'll find our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube channel, as well as these highlights we posted to Hypertier Racing on YouTube and for Doodle, so make sure to get subscribed so you never miss a beat of what happens on and off the track. With that said though, Positive is looking for a manoeuvre here. He's very, very positive about making this move, you know what I'm saying? He's a Proton, desperate for a manoeuvre on the Electron here. Let's see what can happen, whether this will be a neutron of an affair. We'll find out in just a moment as he overcooked that one, not gonna lie. His front left is nearly 100 degrees. Blimey heck, that is hot, hot, hot there from the Red Bull team principal. But not quite enough as Andrea is pulling away. It's only 6/10 though, so Creations is still within that DRS loop. You can still tag onto the back of Andrea's been using all their ERS. They've got hardly any left. And with that said, we've got the Italian flying down to the beautiful straight there and keeping on to P3 successfully as Dan gets another penalty there. And oh wow, Franek is already with 4 laps to spare, a second off his teammate. I mean, he seems to be different gravy this evening. Oh my goodness me, he's actually, I mean, wow. If that's not a driver of the day performance, I'm not sure what is really. Yeah, I mean, just, wow, I think I'm actually going to stay on tune with this if that's alright with you all. As, oh, the Alpine has bottled it behind, and looks like a retirement there. Not from Phoenix. Oh, actually it was from Phoenix, but he saved the car. I thought he smashed it up, and he lost an end plate. It looks much worse than what it actually was. He's already close to within a second of his teammate. But he's not going to get the DRS just yet. It's going to be whiskers. These two not really fighting though. I wonder if he's not. No, he isn't going to slow to let his teammate through. But he does know it's a matter of when Frank is going to get past, not if. I'm going to stay on board with this battle, as that fight for third seems to be a little bit, you know, stagnant at the moment. The Polish Aston Martin driver is getting close to a second of the British Aston Martin driver, and that could be the difference here. If he has that DRS toe. Once you've got the DRS flap open in a race situation, especially on much fresher tyres, it is game over there. So let's find out, as Andrea has pulled a second away from Croatians. Oh no, they're actually fighting all this Weedy McGeady. The number 98 Aston Martin really making life difficult for his teammate. Determined to try and make sure he does not win this Grand Prix, even though he's had the absolute monstrous pace from 12th, deliberately bidding off the last lap just to gain all the necessary time. And we'll see here who will take the first blood of the season. Let's find out now, as it's going to be a slipstream race, trying to make sure his teammate does not get the toe here. This could end in some tears. Let's find out. The two of them giving each other not a pleasant amount of space. Harvey determined to win. They're going to do a switcheroo as they go through to the second DRS straight of this lap number 27. That's positive. Has made a great move on Croatians. Despite all his efforts, Franek finally gets through on his teammate there. Doesn't cause contact. And that is Franek into the lead of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Putting Harvey down in a very quiet second there, but he is still on the back, so you never know what could happen. Oh, as the Mercedes darts off into the distance of down, but I think he's just being courteous at this point. I don't think it's for any other reason. Andrea is starting to pull away quite fantastically away from these two, which is exactly what he needs. I mean, the gap now stands at 1.5 seconds, and if he can really get the knuckle down, bearing in mind his tyres must be feeling pretty bad, then we could be on for an Andrea podium here, which is something I know you all are very, very, very excited upon having an Andrea fight here, as Harvey has got a 3-second time penalty, and that has sealed it away. The only thing Harvey has got left is to pressure his teammate, who has been pulling a monstrous gap, and that psychological defeat has now happened and truly will slowly sink into his soul over the last 2 laps of this Grand Prix. Meanwhile, what's going on? Jack has made a good move on Hurricane into 8th there on those softs. Let's see what's happening here. So we got Jerker in 8th. And as the Aston Martins look for a switch, there's not one going to happen. At least for Harvey. As now we roll around the final corner for the penultimate time for these drivers. Remember, they're on lap 27, just going on to 28 now. Both drivers have got nothing left in the ERS tank, but Hurricane is gonna go for it. Jerker on the fresher soft tyres gives enough space. Remember, these two are former teammates. They do have some chemistry in HTR, and that'll be a beautiful manoeuvre, pulling up nice and wide. There goes the AlphaTauri driver of Jerker, who goes all the way around the left, and he's going to keep fighting the Ferrari as they go through the S's, and Jerker looks like he's got it, but the Ferrari is holding on brilliantly. Excellent battling between those two, as the Ferrari is still going for it on the medium tyres, but it's the AlphaTauri who keeps it. That Ferrari is desperate. I mean desperate. More desperate than someone trying to, I'll do a few things actually, than trying to breathe in a suffocation room. Or when you're in a sauna, one of the two, as it looks like Jerker lost out there. A lot of determination on Hurricane to keep that position as he nearly bottles it here, as the lead at the front is changing between Franek and Harvey on the final lap. Let's go and see what's going on here. These two are still fighting. Franek is going to go round the left here, keeping it away from Harvey, who is absolutely desperate to win. It's that psychological confidence to know you can beat your teammate. It's so important if you're going to go for the driver's crown. And if you can't do that, that's going to set the dynamic very early on. Franek looks like he's got this out of the final corner. But let's see what happens here. DRS flap is open on the British Aston Martin driver here. But he's going to go around the left of Franek, around the outside. And he has done it. He's pulled a great manoeuvre off here. And that has put the Aston Martin into first for now over the other Aston Martin, who's going to try and manoeuvre around the outside here. But nothing availing just yet. These two have got absolutely nothing left in the tank. It's going to be a very close finish on the road here. Thallow has got a 3-second time penalty, but coming across the line, whilst Harvey's going to win it on the road. Franek has won the first race of the season here at Bahrain, and that will be a race that Aston Martin would have been wanted for after a torrid last year. This is exactly what they need to put themselves on the right track, as Creations there does keep it within 3 seconds to get third place. Andrea finishes in 4th. Positive takes 5th in the end. Great job to Andrea for being able to, keep that 3-second buffer. 2 positive there. Smidgy in 6th. Tom crosses the line in 7th. Very quiet drive, but a very good last to 7th challenge, if I do say so myself. Matthew in 8th, a race I'm sure they'll want to forget, with Armour King in 9th, Kingly Garlic in 10th, Pepski in 11th from Hurricane. The 2 AlphaTauris then take row 7 with Jerka and Tundra. Veloce will be coming across the line now in 15th place. Come on, they'll want to forget. Kevin will be wanting to annihilate themselves over this race, I'm sure, as they come along in 16th there. We've then got Fallow in 17th, who's just left. So that is your final order, with Basketball down 18th, Phoenix 19th, and the Church retiring. And we'll let you enjoy the podium celebrations as Tom, the Exarchon, is your driver of the day. And that was an absolutely enthralling Bahrain Grand Prix. Franek wins from Harvey Booth there, and if we take away the 3-second penalty, it's only by 4/10 of the line. That was a very close finish. Creations in 3rd, Andrea 4th, Positive 5th, Smidgy in 6th, Tom in 7th, Matthew in 8th, Armour King 9th, and Garlic in 10th, Pepsi 11th, Hurricane 12th, Jerka 13th, Tundra 14th, Veloce 15th, Kevin 16th, Dallas 17th, Dan 18th, Phoenix in 19th, with Church retiring in 20th. Remember, at HTR, all the drivers will score points, so that is all important information to remember as long as you finish the race, which 19 of them did, so well done to the drivers there for finishing. Genuinely a really impressive effort, and I'm sure it's something that we will be looking forward to. So just a reminder, we will be broadcasting live next Monday here at Paul Ricard for the French Grand Prix, and don't forget to follow us tomorrow where we will be broadcasting the Tier 2 version. And if you thought Tier 1 was hyperactive, Tier 2 is going to be absolutely bonkers. I've been Vadoodle. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be sticking around to answer any questions you have in the stream, but otherwise, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow. Remember, stay hyper. And so we've entered the after hours, so if there are any jokes the 11 of you want to fire at me, or any kind of questions, please do so, by all means. do not have any music. I would just like to inform you all that we'll be broadcasting live tomorrow at 7 PM for Tier 2 action, and lots that will be going on next week. The following week we'll have Snakes and Ladders action for you all to enjoy at 8 PM on the Wednesday. I've been Fadoodle, thank you so much for watching.